You can melt the hardest heart. You can warm the coldest light. You can heal the broken soul. Lord, I give myself to you. You can melt my hard heart. You can warm my cold life. You can heal my broken soul. Lord, I give myself to you. Why surrender to you those dark, cold places? You are my only hope. Hold me close to you. Let me know that you'll be there to get me through. Lord, you know that I can't get this heart, this mind and will. Help me lay down my pride and surrender all to you. Why surrender to you those dark, cold places? You are my only hope. Hold me close to you. Why surrender to you those dark, cold places? Lord, you are my only hope. Hold me close to you. Let me know that you'll be there to get me through. Let me know that you'll be there to get me through. Let me know that you'll be there to get me through.
Hi, good morning, and welcome to Catholics at Home. I am Mag, and I will be your host for today's show. Now, whether you're watching us from the Archdiocese of Kuala Lumpur, the Archdiocese of Malacca, Johor, and Singapore, the Archdiocese of Penang, or the Archdiocese of Miri, or let me just say, wherever you may be watching us from, I want to say thank you for joining us this beautiful Saturday morning. Now, this morning, we're going to take a look at the more humanly side of the priestlyhood on Behind the Robes as we uncover and understand more about the most recent clergy transfer exercise that was done in the Archdiocese of Kuala Lumpur. Now, of course, my name is Mag, and it is going to be super exciting to find out more about this whole exercise. And trust me, okay, if you have questions, we want to know what's on your mind this morning as well. But first and foremost, let's welcome the man himself, the one and only, the resident priest of Catholics at Home, Father Clarence Devadas.
Good morning, Meg.
Hi, Father. Good morning. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. And yourself?
Okay, lah, Father.
How was your,
Surviving.
how was your Chinese New Year? You had loads of oranges?
Chinese New Year is always loads of food, Father. It seems like after Christmas you eat, and then Chinese New Year you eat again.
Don't
It's
worry,
never
don't worry.
ending.
2 weeks time, Lent is coming, so we can all go on
I
a diet.
know. So quick though. I mean, can you imagine 2022? It's already February. I mean, it's already the 12th. So that means we're in the middle, Father.
Yeah,
It's like the last time
exactly.
I spoke to you was the beginning of 2021, 2022.
Yeah, the blink of an eye, everything is just. I wonder where time flies. I mean, they say time flies when you're having fun, isn't it? But these things just keep going daily by every day. I mean, yeah,
I
but it's good.
know.
I mean, it's good that church is open a little bit more. We have Sunday masses. You see people. So behind the robes, there's also a human heart that longs to see people.
I like the
So
way you say it, Father, the human heart that longs to see people. So it shows us that, priests are no different from any one of us. And I think that's how we came up with the title Moving Homes. Because when you move, there's a sentimental side of things that people often don't see.
yeah.
So I think it's the same thing, isn't it, for you guys too?
Well, some people say that oh, you priests are trained. You know every 6 years you're going to move, and but there's always the human aspect of it. Sometimes people don't realize that just like anybody else, having to relocate comes with joys and challenges in both ways, and that's what we're hoping this morning to uncover a little bit about how what are some of the difficult things about moving. And for myself, I know, as you grow older, it's not so easy to relocate all the time.
Yeah,
Having to pack your bags and move, carry things from one place to another. Well, I think for the matter, at any age, moving is always a challenge, isn't it?
definitely. But Father, you say it in a way where it's like physically, but emotionally though, as you get older, is it easier? Because you're like, you're stronger and you know it's going to happen anyway.
Well, for me, I mean, we will hear from our guests afterwards. For me, I don't think it becomes easier, Mac, because after a while, there's a certain amount of stability that one looks for in life. As you grow older, you look for the kind of a stability.
Understood.
So, like even as priests, we move every 6 years. It's in here in Malaysia, we actually move every 6 years. But in the West, sometimes priests stay on in a parish much longer.
Okay.
But it's like a family, isn't it? I mean, after 6 years, you have kind of like gotten to know the people. The people have gotten to know you. There's an amount of comfort that we build around ourselves,
Yeah.
and when that comfort is I don't use the word threatened, but that's going to be kind of disrupted. There's always the natural.
Disrupted is a bigger word, Father. It's a more.
No, it's the same. I mean, it's like how before we all went into the lockdown. We have a certain kind of a comfort level of what we do, and all that was disrupted, and that naturally causes a bit of anxiety. No matter who you are, I mean, we are not Superman, we're not Spider-Man, we are not Iron Man. Definitely, though we
Mhm.
sometimes we think we are, but we are not.
Would like to think we are.
Yeah, I mean, we wish we had some supernatural powers, but the human aspect of it, it's sometimes, parting from friends, though we are not moving very far away, but there's this that the change. That change is always it's both good and bad. The change is good simply because we move. One of the reasons why we move is that, okay, I mean, we get more to familiarize ourselves with the different parts of the archdiocese. Also, then we're not rooted in one particular place, and so we get to move around to also expand our horizons,
Yeah.
and maturity, definitely. Because if you move from, let's say, from an urban parish to a semi-rural parish or a rural parish, the dynamics are different, and so we get to learn too. We get to open our eyes to wider realities. So that's part of the reason also why we move. and from one place to another, and we don't get stuck to one place either. It can be both ways, Meg. I mean, honestly, sometimes people love you to death and want you to stay on forever, and sometimes people hate you to death and want you to move out forever. So it works. It's both ways.
Totally understood, Father. Now, if you're joining us this morning, good morning. And if you just joined us, I hope you have your cup of coffee ready. And well, if you need a snack or breakfast by your side, you are more than welcome to get your knickknacks as you join us this morning, okay? So, of course, behind the ropes this morning, we're going to find out more about the clergy transfer exercise that was done recently in the Archdiocese of Kuala Lumpur. But before we bring on our guest this morning, just want to say hello and good morning to all of you who are joining us. We've got Abby Marie, we've got Mary Philip, we've got Bitter Sky Fruit, Louisa Weeza. We've got so many people both from YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like and share this podcast so that we can spread the word further and also more people get to know more about the topic this morning. Okay, so I think, Father, it's time for us to bring on our guest. What do you think?
Mystery guess, isn't it? I mean, this time we kind of kept people in suspense a little bit.
It's very interesting. We hardly ever do mystery guests. We darken the silhouette and we give you only the silhouette, but we don't know who it is, right? So I see a lot of people guessing, Father Michael Das and stuff like that. So tell us, who do you think our mystery guests will be this morning as I welcome them? Okay, so moving homes, like for you and for I, and for you and for me, and also for Father Clarence. He said, it's not always going to be easy as much as we know it's going to happen. We need that stability, we need that comfort, and it always brings a very bittersweet experience. So I'm only assuming that for the priests it is equally the same, but what else does this whole clergy transfer encompass, and is there something more that we need to understand? So today we speak to Jeng, jeng, jeng. The newly ordained Father Michael Das and Father Edwin Peter, who's been a priest for over 30 years, to find out more about this exercise. Good morning, Father Michael and Father Edwin. How are you today?
Good morning. Good morning. I covered my face just now. Since you told my name, I said no need. I put an
You're the one
A4
that
paper
people were
just now like
guessing
this.
already, Father. So many people guess your name already.
No, I think his silhouette. No, his silhouette was darkened, but you could to find out it is Michael as such.
Yeah.
Maybe mine probably was not mystery, but mysterious. Maybe.
I like that. How are you both today?
Michael.
Oh, I am good, well and good. Just recovered from some sore throat and all that. So now getting better. So okay.
That's good.
Now
Father
happy
Edwin,
and good and well.
Happy and good. That's all that matters. Father Edwin, yourself, are you feeling good where you are right now?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. For me, I was just worried actually this morning. Not worried about the show, but actually worried about my two doggies. I just brought them over from Sacred Heart yesterday, and they were not settled it, and they were making noise. So I hope that during the show they don't become part of the show later.
It's okay, Father. We welcome everybody on the show. Your doggies are welcome too.
Yeah.
Okay,
they are also
so
part of the transfer.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Who knew?
Moving canals. Yeah.
Okay, so Father Clarence, our parish priest, the familiar face that we've gotten accustomed to in the past, 4, 5, 6 years, now have new homes in their new parishes with a new mission. Tell us more about this whole clergy transfer. I mean, what is the objective? What is the purpose? And what do we need to know about this whole exercise?
Yeah, usually when we priests here in the Archdiocese of Kuala Lumpur, when we are appointed to a parish, there is a kind of a term, and that term is about 6 years. So the last time when we had this major transfer was, I believe, 2014. Correct me if I'm wrong, Father Edwin. I think it's 2014.
2015.
15.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah, we all moved together. And so with the coming of 6 years now, we are supposed to have moved in 2021, but you know that the situation in 2021 where the lockdowns and the COVID and all that, we really couldn't move, and it wouldn't have been fair to move anyone, because you move to a new parish, literally you're locked down again, and it's worse when you don't know anybody in the parish at that time, and you're locked down in a house. So we kind of delayed it a little bit. So that's why you see that the movement happened in 2022. Some people ask me whether is this the right time? I mean, there's never a right time, but the conditions were a little bit more conducive now compared to 2021, where people could move and some kind of level of activities happening in our parishes. So as I mentioned earlier, Meg, I mean, we move for various reasons, so that we don't get rooted in one place, and we get to also exchange new experiences in different parishes. People get to experience new priests also, new ways of doing things. Not every priest is the same. I'm sure by now people have already discovered that with their new priests. One priest says turn left, one priest turns right. I mean, that's exaggerated, but we all are different. Though we all come from the same, with the same goal of being a priest, but sometimes we do things a little bit different in the way, the style that we do things. I always say that you look at your 5 fingers, they're all not the same. Though it comes from the same hand. In the same way, we all come from the same clergy, presbyterium, and we're all quite different. But in essence, we're all the same. I mean, we all are there to serve God and to serve the people in the best way possible. Yeah, that's in a nutshell. And when we move, why we move. And what we hope to be able to do. I'm sure you will hear this also from both Father Edwin and Father Michael.
But why that certain time frame though, Father? I mean, why 6 years? You mentioned earlier 6 years, right?
Thereabouts. This is what we have opted for here in the Archdiocese. I think 6 years. Usually, in my own experience, that when you get to a new parish, it takes 1-2 years to kind of really get to be able to feel the pulse of the parish. Like for me now in this new parish, I'm telling myself next 6 months I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to ruffle any feathers in that sense. It's just getting the pulse of the people to know what's been happening, what my predecessor has been doing, not coming in wanting to change everything and not disrespecting my predecessor also in some ways. To see some level of continuity is part of the stability for the parish, because if not, everybody comes and keeps changing, then it causes a bit of, I use the word disruption again for the people. People are confused. What is it? Is it left or right now? So it's nice to be able to allow some level of stability for the people to get to know us. As much as I was saying to my people the other day, as much as people are anxious about the priest, when people, before the priest comes, people are already calling us, okay, what kind of priest is this? Already they're doing a kind of a scan,
Undercover research.
not even undercover, it's Google search. Straight away, Google nowadays is Google search. As much as people are anxious, I think we priests are also a little bit anxious. What kind of community are we going to encounter? Though we are trained for this, it's never the same. For me, every parish is different. Every community is unique. So there's also a certain level of anxiety. Maybe people don't see it. You see us, of course, now we can't see us smiling and standing there with a mask on. But it's both ways. So I think for me, this first 6 months is like just breaking the ice, breaking those anxieties and just getting to know, so that there can be a level of comfort between the priests and the people and the people and the priests.
Very well said. I like that. All right. So if you've just joined us, welcome to Catholics at Home. This morning, we are going behind the ropes to find out more about the recent clergy transfer exercise. Now, if you do have any questions for any of our priests, our panel of priests this morning, you're more than welcome to drop it in the comment section below, and we will address them as we go along throughout the show. Okay. So Father Edwin, Father Michael, and Father Clarence, I want to know, how does it feel? How many weeks has it been in your new parish, and how does it feel like now being in your new parish?
It's coming to a month now. Yeah. Father Edwin, over to you.
Yes. How does it feel in my new parish? Okay. This is new. Moving is new for me, but moving to this parish is new for me, but yet not very new, because 30 years ago, I was at this parish already as an assistant parish priest. The time Risen Christ and Central were together. Actually,
Okay.
before coming here, Bishop called, and he mentions about some responsibilities other than parish. So I'm supposed to go to the seminary, supposed to go to the API. So I was actually wondering, where will Bishop send me? When finally, which parish is he going to send me? Because I know seminary is fixed. There's not many seminaries.
Yeah.
But also in terms of API, there's only one. But parishes, there were a few. So which is he going to send me to? So all said and done, I am. My feeling is I'm very thankful for being here, and yet I'm also a little apprehensive. Why apprehensive? In the sense that I was here 30 years ago, so I suppose that some people would know me, the Edwin then, and have some expectations, and
Yeah.
I too will have some expectations of them. But now
Mm.
the Edwin now is changed. Now the Edwin has got a ponytail now. It's a bit different. I've gone. I'm now closer to 60. So things have changed. So there is thankfulness, there is appreciation, there is also excitement and a little of say, where do we go? So I'm glad that being here also in this parish, because this parish, I think every parish is different. Every parish is different. But here is a little bit more different, because you don't find a parish which is, now I call it the just nice parish, in terms of size. Because many in KL are all the bigger parishes. So I say I'm gifted to be here in this parish, which is just nice parish. I have got maybe just nice church, JNC, rather than RCC. It is JNC, I would say. Yeah. Over
Very
to you, Mike.
nicely said.
Yeah.
Father Michael?
So for me, it's not moving to our parish, but for me, it's a first parish, like
Yeah.
first home. And because I came back from Kuching last year, I did not go into a parish. I was staying in the Kadain house with Bishop for about 5 months, because at that time there was a lockdown. So though the masses were from Bishop's house online, so I was helping there. While even my diaconate ordination took place in that small chapel. Bishop asked me where. I said I treat this as my home, first parish, which is the bishop stays there, for the Surin stays there. So I was ordained there. Then from there, as a deacon, I moved into temporary to Tampin, just about from November to end of November, to prepare for the priestly ordination. It's not an official parish. I just tumpang, stay there to prepare. Then I came to CDM. What are my feelings right now? I'm actually excited. When you go to a new place, first time, everything is first time for me here. First confession, first funeral masses, and then parish, and then first encounter with the people. Excited, but at the same time nervous also, because I came from a very small, Father Edwin knows, because Father Edwin was in Tampin administrator for a long time ago when he came back from India. Very small parish, but this is like an ocean for me, very big. From Kampong boy coming to a city parish, kind of nervous, but yeah, it's just the two feelings, excited and nervous at the same time. These two are blending together that in me. Hopefully, already a month, it getting slowly better. Yeah, that's all about it.
Very nice. Father Clarence, yourself.
I mean, in some ways, I have not relocated, in the sense that I lived at the grounds of St. Anthony. I was working I'm at the Catholic Research Center, so the parish is in the same ground. So I have not moved homes in that sense. It's just that I've moved assignment. So for me, compared to the other two, it's less disruptive in that sense. And so, as I said earlier, it's just getting to know the parish, and yes, of course, for me, it's a little bit anxious too, because though I had lived here, I've been living here since 2014, in this grounds, in the pastoral center. But it's nothing like when you get involved in the parish, it's different, and you get to know people and people get to know you. So it's a mixture of both, in the sense that yes, there's joy in getting to know new people, making new friends, and secondly, there's also trying to manage people's expectations. That's one thing sometimes I've struggled with. People have expectations of priests, as I said earlier, they have Iron Man expectations, and we are not Iron Man, and I'm not Iron Man. I don't know about Father Edwin and Father Michael does. Maybe they are Iron Man or Spider-Man or something like that.
Captain America, is it, Father?
Captain America. Yeah. Suddenly you said that, I kind of had a flash
A
of
bit.
or imagining Father Edwin holding the Captain America shield.
Hey,
Yeah, but sometimes it's managing expectations. And I think that's the challenge for me. And the thing I wanted to add was that, as not that I'm old, but as we grow older, we also realize that our human resourcefulness is not as how like Father Michael does. Is so young. Maybe he can jump like a Duracell bunny, going on and on forever. He can go on, But as we grow older, I also realize that I get tired easier, and so managing that and managing my own kind of ability to do the things that people expect. Sometimes that can be challenging for me.
Interesting. Okay, so the 6 words that I grabbed from all three of our fathers this morning is excited, nervous, apprehensive, appreciative, joyful, and managing expectations. So it's a mixed feeling, isn't it? This whole moving homes thing. It's just like that bittersweet shifting house feeling that we get when we move from one place to another. So now I want to know, right? How long does it take to get accustomed to a new parish? I mean, like Father Edwin, you say you were there 30 years ago,
Years
and
ago,
now
yeah.
you're back there. Does it feel like, hey, I've been here, so this is normal, or this is I can get used to this because I was here before. This should be easy for me. Does it take shorter time to get accustomed to it, or just as long?
For me, the biggest thing was what now? There are a lot of development that has taken place in Jalan Ipoh. I think one of the things is there's an MRT that is coming across. So what happens is trying to, I know the old roads, how to get to risen Christ, but there are now what do you call barriers and new turnings and a little bit new things. New traffic lights and all. So I had to maneuver them to find it. The first time I must say, I had to use
Ways.
I have Waze or Google Map. I don't know whichever you use it, and finally found this. But it was easy because it was only the first time I needed it. After that, I could manage on my own. No? So that is it. And it was good to see familiar faces. Familiar faces. But the other thing was there's something about moving homes. I wonder why the title is Moving Homes rather than Not Moving Parishes. Maybe it wanted to be a little bit more personal, no? So that was it. That's the adjustment I had to immediately make. But I must say, first was unpacking from the old parish, and they were put in all the different boxes, tag them, and all those things. But coming to the new parish, one of the things was the physical aspect of it. I was used to my old home. I know where the switches are, where to put the keys, where to put my phone, where the charger is, like that. Suddenly, like Kalangkabut, no?
Yeah.
So now I have to be very careful where my boxes are, which box contains which. So I had a little time familiarizing and saying, okay, this is where I need to put my keys. That's the most important. Second one is, I think even if you don't carry your wallet, the next thing is where to put the phone. Not just phone, where to put the charger, because you can have a phone and not the charger. So all these things, a little thing. So now after 1 month, I think I know where the switches are, where my things are, but there are still some things not unpacked. That's one.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see that when I entered the church is almost the same. Just as this nice little cozy parish that is there. No, the image of Our Lady is there. The image of the risen Christ is still there. But some things have moved. some new pews are there and all those things. But then I was also looking at familiar faces. Some faces I can remember. Some people come and stand before me and say, "Father, remember me?" Like, I'm like, I know that time probably I was in my 20s now, late 20s. So 30 years ago, if they were kids and teenagers, they are, people
They've
have
grown.
changed, grown. Yeah. So like the older ones is easier for me to remember. You know.
Yeah.
So the process of adapting, what do you say? I think it goes on. It's like ongoing. You know, there are some people who are appearing in church. Perhaps there are some also like not appearing in church at the moment because of this pandemic, because of the different restrictions. So I think this thing about getting accustomed. So parish, the house, the people. I think it's like it takes some time. It takes some time. For the client mentioned 6 months. Maybe some people maybe I might see within 3 months. It might appear, but if now with this Omicron or something like that, suddenly I don't know what's going to happen. So some people who are coming to church might suddenly say, "Okay, stay away," and it might take longer time also. No, maybe more than 6 months. So that's the
Father Edwin, when you're saying when people stand before you and say, "Do you recognize me?" Now we are having to recognize people just knowing their forehead and the eyes only. You can't see the whole face. It's like definitely
It's a whole new challenge.
a whole new challenge, exactly. So you have to remember forehead and all these wrinkles. Remember them to remember to associate somebody with that.
But the other thing is this: some new faces you see them only with the mask on. So sometimes they stand far away and you see pictures of them without a mask. I can't recognize them because I'm so used to now this particular group seeing only with the mask. So that is the other one that goes on. Yeah.
No, you were saying for that, Edwin, I think you were saying why we call this moving homes. And I think one of the realities that this is going to be our home for the next 6 years is that we don't have any other home. I mean, parish, sometimes moving parish is sometimes connected to the work that we do, but we also realize that, the parish is our home and the parish community becomes family in so many different ways. I mean, sometimes people ask, "Oh, Father, you live in a parish," but the other side of it is that this is my home. Wherever I go, I come back here. And just like for any other person, wherever you travel, there's no place like home, they say, isn't it? It's getting used to a new bed also is a challenge, isn't it? To a new. When I first moved here, I had to get used to the sound of the LRT running by, and to realize that, hey, this is my home. This is going to be my home.
I think when my mom was around, sorry.
Go ahead.
When my mom was around, like that was home for me. I must confess. All Mondays is back going to where my kampong, where I grew from, going to see mom, spending time with her. But after her passing, I think what the Clarence says it's what you say is quite true. Home has become where I serve. Whether it was seminary, whether it's Lestari Jaya, Sacred Heart, or now here. Yeah. Over to you, Mike.
So for me, it's a home altogether. And I must tell you a very beautiful experience. What happened yesterday? I did 2 baptisms yesterday, and so happened that another baby's father happened to be my history teacher's nephew, something like that. But it really got my attention. Thank God the history the teacher didn't come for the baptism. Otherwise, he knew all my history. I asked him, "Hey, your uncle came for the baptism?" Or no. I said, "Thank God." So you see, I was thinking, moving to a parish like this, nobody will know, and we don't come across, or thank God Bishop didn't send me back to my home parish where everybody knew me and everything. But coming to Shah Alam CDM Divine Mercy, I was thinking, okay, can be a little comfortable here, with my own way of doing things or whatever. But it's like more than 3 or 4, 5 families, which is like 10 years ago I met them. My teacher's nephew, my teacher's niece's family, and so I was thinking, you can't run away from everywhere. So another thing, to get to know the people. The parish is very big. I can't. My problem is this: I can remember face, I can't remember names.
Oh,
So,
same
uh,
here.
I can't remember names. I say you, and then they got upset. Father, how come you can't remember my name? You're already 1 month here. I should have 7,000, 5,000. How can I remember particular names? So these are the struggles that still getting to know people, still like struggling to so many ministries also here, and to like what Father Edwin has beautifully put it, just adjusted the office and the room where to put your things and all that. So these are the things, but creating a home in the parish. Even though Mondays I will try to go back or once in 2 weeks, because my home is quite far. I mean 1 hour plus. So I try to go home and come back. But the creating a home in the place where I serve, even as a seminarian, wherever parish they put me as pastoral, so creating a home. So I used to this tagline: I come back home, I'm back home. We have a WhatsApp group, three of us. We have a brother here, seminarian here, 1 year pastoral. So three of us in the group. So I said, I'm going back to Tampin. I'll be back home on Monday. So these kind of some kind of terms, then they know home means here, you know. So this one thing, that moving home, maybe the title is very, very, very
Apt.
appropriate now. Moving homes. Yeah, that's the
All
thing.
right. Father Clarence, for you,
Hmm.
like you said, you technically never moved, right? You've been there. So does it take any time to get yourself accustomed at all? Or is it like, no biggie lies, I've been here anyway?
No, I think that there's a lot of change. Uh, as I said, moving into a new parish, of course, I mean, unlike the other two, so there's one aspect of that change is not disrupted for me. So maybe the disruption for them is a little bit more compared to me. Because like they said, they're having to look for where to charge their phone, where to put their keys. I don't have to go through that yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure that will happen soon also. But the aspect of moving into a new parish, that's just getting to know how things are. So this is what I've been doing this last couple of weeks. I've been just meeting different groups in the parish and just listening to their stories. I mean, everybody's asking me, Father, what do you want? What are your plans? I said, hey, hold on. It's nothing to do about my plans. Tell me what's been happening about you. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Everybody is like wanting to say what they've been doing in the parish. I say, hey, hold on. Tell me a little bit about yourself. I say, I want to know who you are, where you come from, where you stay, what do you do? I mean, are you married? You got children, etc., etc. I always believe that is the beginning of ministry, to know the person. The work will come later. A lot of our things in our parish, autopilot lah. I mean, you go to parish now, you got the digital, you got the ministry for the poor, you got this, you got that, maintenance, etc. All this is, of course, Michael can't say he's just the first parish, but for the Edwin and I would probably say it's quite the same. The work is quite the same in broad categories, but the joy of it all is working with people that you know. So for me, that is it. And I have the same problem like what Michael said just now. I can recognize the face, but the name, oh my God. Sometimes I have to pretend as though I know the name and talk to the person without even calling out the name. I say, yeah, okay. So
The
that
trick
was a
is,
great.
Father, the trick is introduce that person, and then the person will say, hey, my friend, and then they will introduce their name. Because I have that same problem too. I'm like, oh no, I remember your face, but I really don't know your name. So yeah.
So for me, that's very important, Meg. I mean, the person that I'm going to work with, to minister with, that as much as they get to know me, I want to know them also, and the work will follow afterwards. I believe that.
Okay. Now, since you've touched on work, right, Father? So I believe that every priest has a mission. Every priest has things they need to do and accomplish in their parishes. So does it ever feel like, you've worked so hard, you've accomplished so much in your previous parish, and then when you get moved to a new parish, it feels like, man, here we go again. I have to start from the bottom, And then you're like, I work so hard. I'm so close to my end goal. I haven't accomplished this yet. And then now I have to go to a new parish and start all over again. Does it ever feel like that?
This
Or
one you
if
must
it
address.
does, how does it overcome?
You must address this for the Edwin. He is, I know that in the previous parish, he's done quite a bit in the parish. And I think probably he will be the best person to answer this. But Edwin?
Ayo.
Ayo. Put him in the spot.
Now, I think what no, we do not start at the bottom. That's the bottom line. We do not start at the bottom in the sense that everyone has built something. So, like my previous parish, where Sacred Heart and Our Lady of Good Health, Kamambandan, what happened is the priests before have already done the different stages they have gone through. They have built a parish to a certain level. It's basically passing the baton, I believe, that what they have done, I take from where they are and I continue. I continue. So I do not start from the bottom. I do not start from scratch. And I also always believe this, that in terms of this, if basically if things are going well, and they are productive. I'm tend to be like that. No, I'm more of a product man rather than a process man. So things are producing. So don't undo it. Let it be there. Build on it and go. So it's basically a passing of the baton thing. So when I leave, I'll pass the baton to the next person and it continues. Sometimes maybe it's like what the scripture says, one plants, another pours. St. Paul will tell that, the sun shines, God mysteriously makes it grow, no?
Yeah.
That's what God does. So practically that's what it is. So it is the parish is at one stage. Sometimes I take this image of what you call the train, no? I did share it with this what you call Family Life Ministry, which I was involved in previously. I said I took it over from a particular at a particular stage. It's like sometimes they give the analogy of the train, that comes and we all are part of the train at a certain stage, and the train continues to go. So I took over from Father Patrick like that. So then now goes on to the next stage for the Father Peter and Father Andrew. So it continues. So they build from where I leave. So how much I can give, how much I can be, I am there at this particular stage. That's what I would say. No,
Father Michael, I hope you are frantically taking down notes. I mean, this is 30 years of experience.
Yeah, because it's like, no, his 30 years experience is my 30 days, 30 plus days,
No,
It's a long way
it's
to
not
go,
just
man.
experience only. No, I think today young people, they have got short period, but the experience is very intense. No, you're in that sense.
Today, I feel like sandwich, we have 30 years, 30 days, and 25 years. I'm in the middle, like the sandwich, there are two breads, So another thing that came to my mind as Father Clarence and Father Edwin were sharing, the beautiful thing is this, where to take on from. And this is a very great lesson for me, just in case in the near future, when and how they will be. Now, at least I will use this honeymoon period as an assistant, assistant to a parish priest. But what he does here, we work together, we discuss, we dialogue, we talk about things. So breakfast, that's why our breakfast can go like 1 hour. We just have bread, but we talk, the dialogue, and he often uses these words that, like Father Edwin said, just study, and like what Father Clarence used, learn their to smell them where they are, to which where they are coming from, rather than just come and change. And then we have decided in the parish that, at least for 1 year or December, we want to learn to be with the people, because this parish is another autopilot. Everything is just running smoothly because of the previous priest for the Cherub, as put it so well. And so there is no major issues for us to look, but to continue to pursue, to listen, to discern. And one more thing, that we have come, both of us, to a decision, that dialogue with them, a dialogue with the ministries, with the people.
Very nice.
That's what I learned from this, for the Edwin and for the Clarence. Nice to be sandwiched in between.
So whether it's chicken sandwich or tuna sandwich or egg sandwich, we're not too sure which is it going to be for lunch. No, but
This depends on the flavor of the day, Father.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think that's the reality. As much as we talk about the work that awaits us, and so a lot of people see the work that awaits us. but a lot of people don't see also the human dynamics of a priest having to move. Like say Father Edwin has brought his dogs with him. I mean,
Yeah.
in some ways, that's his security blanket. Also, I think. I mean, I
I believe
so
so. You know why, Clarence? Don't mind me interrupting.
yeah.
That during the pandemic, I think
Ah,
these two fellas were two doggies, Oreo and Kayla. They were my
Oh.
like therapists. When everything was quiet, no, 2 years ago, nobody in church, no, everything was shut down. Uh, Being there and with these fellas and petting them and all, it was like I see this free therapy that God has given through
Yeah.
these two doggies that I have. So that's why I think that now bringing here now after 1 month bringing them here, I think I'll be like now the therapy will continue lah with this with
Nice.
this with these two doggies.
Very
Right?
nice.
so yeah, that's where you see that the humanness of that the priest also needs a little bit of this, some activity, some hobbies, apart from 24/7 being available to people. There's also, I mean, what I call is, and I begin to appreciate this, especially during the pandemic, the me time. Sometimes
Mm.
we the me time is very important. uh, Even for me as a priest, I believe, I don't know about the other two, but I speak for myself. Self-care, things like that, to be able to I call the word to
Focus on
detox,
yourself.
to detox from work a bit,
Yeah.
and some of these things go a long way. Like for Father Edwin, he says it's the pets are his companions. I mean, not to say that his parishioners are not his companions either, but
No, no,
you
no.
know, but sometimes at the end of the day, you realize that, yeah, okay, this, I mean, as you know that, I mean, in many cultures, they also use pets to help people through difficult times,
Mm.
and companion. So I think sometimes, yeah. So there is this human, and I think this is what we have been trying to bring out in Behind the Ropes. There is a human behind that robe, behind that, that one that says mass and does everything, and mass, sacraments, house blessing, anointing of the sick. Behind that, there is a
There's a
heart.
person.
There's
Yeah.
a person, like, yeah, Mike. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
adding that.
I
Not just
think,
that, no. Sorry, yeah.
yeah, Father.
Not just that, not just in the parish and also outside lah. Outside, where's the makan shop? Where is the clinic? Where's the stationery shop to look all those things? Where's the motorbike and all this? All those things also are involved in this whole process of shifting. I'm fortunate in Ipoh Road. Everything is quite close
Father,
Different.
by.
we must introduce you to online shopping, lah. I do all that nowadays. Everything
Is
online,
it?
everything gets delivered. I
Convenience
don't
at your fingertips.
exactly. Even simple stationery, something I order online. There's
Is it?
not having to go to a shopping mall. So the next course we must have our priest is online shopping.
Online shopping. Hello, I'm quite good at that, especially to get my bicycle stuff actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I'm surrounded by all the factories. So it's hard to get food sometimes, but that's why we just have to go across. But thank God we still have Father Simon who stays with us, before he returns to the seminary. So he was like our GPS. Okay, you go here, you got this. You know, we if you go here, you will have this. If you go here, you will have this, a kind of companion for us, lah, because he was here a long time ago. So he is quite well. And for me, I depend 100% on waste. Only yesterday I went to SS15 without a waste. Otherwise, I need the waste badly. Even to go to Puchong for Tamil Mass, I need the waste also. So these are the struggle that we humanly we this thing, lah. So that's why the phone, we must have the data at all times.
Definitely. Now, of course, on Catholics at Home this morning, we are looking behind the ropes, looking at the person. And like Father Clarence said, the heart. There is a heart, there is a person behind the rope. They are human just like us. And I think getting accustomed to moving to a new home is going to be, the experience is like any other, like any one of us would go through as well. Now, I think, Father Clarence, the thing is, right, when we look at priests, we look at you guys like superheroes, like that, you've got like this whole parish to be the shepherd of, and you can do so many things. So I think most of the time people forget that there are people behind that robe. There's a person, there's a heart. So I kind of don't blame them in a way. But here's a very interesting question though for all our viewers this morning. If our priests, okay, Father Michael, Father Edwin, Father Clarence, were superheroes, who do you think they'd be? Which superhero do you think they'd be? I'd like to know what's in your mind, because I'm very sure as we talk, right, your mind's already working, like going, okay, Father Clarence is going to be Captain America, Father Edwin's going to be Thor, Father Michael's going to be who else we know? Spider-Man.
As long as they don't say we are Wonder Woman.
Okay, so there's a comment, there's a question on our board coming from John Keslim. He's asking, out of curiosity, has any priest been assigned to the same parish twice? Now, Father Edwin, you said you were there 30 years ago. So I'm curious, is that like double assignment? I mean, is it?
I think the best person to answer this question will be Father Clarence. More than because he has gone back to Fatima.
Yeah.
Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Yeah, but those were short periods. I was in Our Lady of Fatima from 2000, after I came back from Rome, 2004 to 2010. Then I left Fatima and I came to work full time in the diocese in the Pastoral Institute. Then my successor, then Father Leonard John, he became ill. Then Bishop asked me to go back to the parish simply because there would have been less disruption I used the word disruption quite a bit because of this pandemic, I think. To put a new priest there would have been having to relearn everything. So for me to go back and to continue what he started was easier. Then I was there until, then he passed on. And so I held the parish for about 2 years. Then I came back to the diocese to work in the research center. Then more recently, the priest there had gone on sabbatical. I went there supposedly for 3 months. Then COVID had its own timeline. Nobody could move. So I had to stay on in Fatima for nearly 2 years again. Going back, as I said, the familiarity helps a lot because you know the people, you know who you can turn to already. So that makes it easier. So very rarely do you see a priest being reappointed. My going back to Fatima was short stints. Were just to be a kind of a spare tire to relieve until they can find somebody to. So going back in the past, I think there have been priests who have gone back to the same parish for various reasons. I can't remember their names, but I think there are some who have gone back to their own parishes, and sometimes some people go back to their home parishes also, if I may add. I have not gone back to my home parish. I don't know if I have the courage to go back to my home parish. Like Father Michael said, he didn't want to meet his history teacher because he would know the history of him rather than the history of anything else.
The irony.
I always cringe at the thought of having to go back to my home parish, to see my friends who I grew up in school with. It's a plus point and also sometimes can be a challenge, because I won't speak for them. Not all of us were saints before we became priests. We were naughty little rascals also, so they know the history. And then you're telling them you must do this. I know you you were like this when you were young, So it can happen.
Okay. So I hope that answered your question, John. Thank you so much for your question on YouTube. All right, now moving on, I want to talk about the people. Now, sometimes people get very comfortable, very close to their parish priest, With this clergy transfer, I would assume that it affects the people too. So how can we, the people, your sheep, understand this exercise better?
Yeah. Suddenly there's a profound silence.
I would say that for me, most often my relationships are working relationships, most of them.
Okay.
So I think for majority of the parishioners, they see the priest only on Sundays, not on other days. But there will be a certain percentage who get comfortable, get used to you. There is a little bonding that takes place. Perhaps it is those people that might we might miss, or they might miss the priest. But generally, for the rest, I think we are on to like this. But the word was used, autopilot. We know the priest will come, the priest will go away. so that we are ready for that. I think all parishioners are ready for that. So there might be instances, I remember, the people come and see you, they think that you are the previous priest.
Yeah.
Because that no, for them it's just a face, not the priest. It is not Edwin as such. For them, they know just a parish priest. So that also does happen. So for majority, I don't think so. It does affect, except for a small minority, perhaps. Yeah.
Mm. Father
I think like
Michael
what
or
Father
Father
Edwin
Clarence,
said is
anything
like
to add?
this, yeah. I mean, just to add, I mean, people have different needs, and over the period of time, some people just need you for dispensing the sacraments. Some people over the period of time, though we start on a working, like Father Edwin says, though we start on a working relationship, but after a while, there's a familiarity and friendship that grows also, and that also, I mean, just like recently, I think the Pope was interviewed, Pope Francis, and he talked about the importance of his friends who keep him going. It was so human to say that the Pope needed friends to keep him going. And if the Pope needed friends, I mean, we all need friends, isn't it? And we all need a kind of a social network to be able to the downtime, the me time, with a little bit of friends. I mean, it's. I always think that it's nothing to do with the fact that some priests are close to only these people or close to that people. There's always the struggle that we have. But sometimes I think the reality, the way I look at it, and this morning as I was thinking, sometimes there are some people that we are comfortable with. We build a friendship that
Yep.
that perhaps, I not to say that we prefer them over others. Just like how you make friends in the office. There's some people that you go out for coffee with, and some you don't.
Yes.
Not because you don't like them, but there is no what's the word I'm looking for?
Chemistry.
Chemistry. That's right. Exactly. That's the word. Yeah. There's no chemistry sometimes. Though we serve all of them. I mean, we are not discriminating. Anyone who comes for something, we don't say, "Oh, I have no chemistry with you, so I can't give you communion." It's nothing to do with that. But something beyond that, there's sometimes where we can have that downtime, and those are the relationships that continue. Even though I've left many parishes, there's some of the people still call me, and we have a little chat, and things are better. Hopefully, can sit down and have coffee with them. As much as they miss us, I would also be the first to say we miss some of our friends in the parishes. I miss some of my friends in the parishes that I have left. And sometimes the distance and the work makes us forget these things. But I think this is a reminder for me, especially the pandemic, is that some of these relationships are very valuable, and they define and they keep me going. In that sense, because I need friends too. I mean, as I said, some people say I'm a superhero. No, I've not been associated with anyone yet. But I would say that I need friends. Yes, among the priests, I have friends. Father Michael, Father Edwin are my friends, and we meet regularly. But also non-priest friends whom we can have a conversation about many other things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just to
for
add.
me,
Sorry.
okay.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, for me, it varies from what for the Clarence and for the Edwin will be sharing. For me, first parish, I have friends in the home parish, Tampin, small parish, and this group of young people, because their father and my father all friends, and the friendship continues, and we kids, we known each other for years, and even before the ordination, half an hour, Michael. You are still, just like half an hour before the mass, she came to me, very naughty. We know each other 10 years ago in a small parish. And these are I will call them young people of the youths. They came even the morning of the ordination, they came and, they cleaned the statue without being told, So these are the friends whom I can be comfortable with. I talk to them, just go and play football with them, badminton with them, just go walking. We used to do this rosary relay on our own, 5 of us or 10 of us while jogging. We see the rosary, and then we do it every Monday morning. Now when I go home, I thought Monday morning can sleep, but hey Mike, come lah. We have a WhatsApp group, called Haram group, like that. Just simple, our childhood friends, and these friends of mine from the parish, the young people, and have kept me going. And they fetch me from airport. Sometime I never come from Kuching because I have two brothers. They have families. I don't want to disturb them. Mom and dad can't drive. Dad is, So they will come and fetch me. They will send me to the airport, and I remember these are the friends who kept me going. I'm sure they are watching, the young people. So these are the who said, tanah tumpah darah lah. So now in CDM, that will slowly establish the friends. Yeah. Sorry for that, Vin.
Sorry, just to add also, when I came to Risen Christ, after some time, like people from my previous parish, friends. So I'll say friends from the previous parish say, "How are you, Father? Help me in the setting up of this new place."
Yeah.
All right. Say, is everything okay? Your house is okay, and all. How can we be of a help to you? What do you need, etc. And also along the way, we get text messages also. Father, Father, we miss you. Father, how are you? So these things, even if it's just a phone call, it tells something. So you do not have to
Yes.
be at the parish, but a kind of a bonding that has developed. It's very warm. It's the tenderness that is there. Same also in this new parish. Also, like I said, since I was here before, some of the parishioners said, "Father, what do you need? How are you? How are you fitting in, settling in?" So those things also are affirming and help us grow. Actually, thank you.
All right. The reason I asked this question is because I know of some people who, when they're down or when they're broken and they feel very close to a certain priest, right? And that priest helps them to get through that difficult time in their life. So sometimes when this whole transfer happens, it feels like their shepherd has been taken away, and they feel, oh no, now I'm gonna hit down the bottom again, that kind of a thing, because you're taking away that one person who helped keep them afloat, possibly at that point. So what are your comments, about this? Because I do know a lot of people who feel that way. You're like, this priest, he helped me when I was at my lowest point in my life, or this priest helped me during my divorce, or this priest, and they've actually built that relationship with you, that friendship with you, kind of thing. So, Father
Mike,
Clarence?
we're not moving to a place where there's no phone network, lah, Mike. We're not being sent to the North Pole. It's just within the 5 states. I mean, we are all a phone call away. I mean, though we move parishes, we are still contactable. We are still approachable. It doesn't mean that. I agree with you, because sometimes you build a certain relationship, a level of comfort, a level of trust with a certain priest. Because you're able to share. That you may not be able to do it immediately with your new priest. That's very natural, very natural. But we are still here. We are not with the penguins in the North Pole, or the wildebeest in Kenya or something like that. Is sitting with, there's no phone network. So it doesn't mean that the relationship ends.
Okay.
Yes, we are sent as priests to a particular parish, but with this lockdown, we realize that we all become borderless.
Yeah, correct.
We are not confined by the geography of our parishes in many ways. And the reality is that, so I'm sure Father Edwin, he says he'll get text messages. I'm sure when churches open, his parishioners will come visit him on Sunday for Mass. Father Michael, I'm sure from Tampin, the parishioners, his young people will come to his Mass. So we are all still accessible, contactable, and we are not in the North Pole.
What they told me, the young people told me, I want to see you celebrating Mass. I said, they said they will come suddenly to surprise me. So what I will do that weekend, I will go to Puchong for Tamil Mass. Then they will give surprise.
So you see, there is a person behind that role.
Yeah.
He can be just as mischievous as we are.
Yeah.
Because when he says that, I think, let me just try and read his mind. The thought that sometimes runs through a young priest when you see your friends and you're at the altar celebrating Mass, you say, yo, what are my friends thinking about me? I used to be like this with them. Isn't it, Michael?
Yes. Absolutely, Father.
You feel this.
Like going for a chendol together, and what happened in that place, and going on a motorbike together, cycle together, and then swimming and all this. Yeah, this childhood memories has brought to this vocation. I will never forget that.
Definitely. Okay. Father Edwin, anything to add to that? No.
No.
Okay. Father Clarence, I think, right? Everybody's scared to get struck by lightning. Nobody's actually telling me who they think, which superhero they think the three of you should be, except for Angeline Cross, who says Father Clarence is a superhero. She didn't specify which one. Okay, so getting into,
Maybe you
getting,
should ask us, Mac. Maybe you should ask us if we could be a superhero, which superhero we would like to be.
yeah, Father, I was just going to ask you that. So I'm going to go behind the rope and getting to know that person, right? So if you could be a superhero, which superhero would you want to be?
All right. Must be one of the Avengers, lah. You know, I think we must have a few different roles, lah. When we're dealing with difficult parishness, I would like to be Incredible Hulk. You know, but for all the superheroes, I think I kind of grew up with Spider-Man. Spider-Man, simply because I always remember this line. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember exactly, but it said, it's his uncle who will tell Peter Parker. He says, with great powers come great responsibilities, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've always remembered that line from Spider-Man. Yeah. So for me, I mean, it's nothing to do with swinging from one place to another and having webs coming out of my wrist, but I think that line kind of caught me. Yeah. So for me, it's maybe Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Okay. Father Michael?
I think Superman. I don't know why.
Oh,
I mean I don't watch movie. I very less watch. I love musics and all. So since small I was attracted to him. I don't know why. I have no reason. Because
it's a
that's why
red underwear,
whenever
lah, Father.
seminarians they call me, come Mike for movie. You're wasting calling me because I'll go and sleep there. I'm not good for movies. For songs, yeah, I enjoy even Tamil movie. Very less, very less, very less.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
maybe he says Tamil movie, his superhero might be Rajinikanth or Kamal Haasan. If they're considered superheroes.
Yeah. But even that,
But
very less, very less, very less.
Father Edwin?
For me, superheroes, you ask me, I also do not know, lah. Because those days when I was little, there was no TV at home. It was just that the papers, the News 3 Times, I think, at that time, always on Sunday there'll be a magazine sheet. That part I know there is Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
More than Batman, my association was always with Robin. Maybe like taking a secondary role. So maybe the superhero is Jesus, lah, not me. I'll just be the supporting role. Maybe that only I can do. Or if it's
So you'll be
Peter, I
Robin,
play
lah,
the
Father.
supporting role. Something like that. Only that I can think of.
Very interesting. Okay. So what motivates you and keep you going?
For me, as a very young priest, I think the friendship with the priests here in the parish that keeps me going, especially the parish priest, Father Alan, and with the parish staff, where we sit together, we talk about things. That are the things when we don't keep things in the heart, when we take it out, in a proper way, positive way. Especially with Father Alan, or anything, they just knock on his door, Father, come, let's talk about things, And he comes to my office, and whenever we go out for a cup of coffee, for ice cream or whatever, that keeps me going. A friendship.
Nice.
So maybe before answering that question, maybe what I would think of is like looking at the new parish, Look parish. I just wonder now, okay, so long I've been talking about the past and all the things. Now looking at the new parish, what are my plans for the parish? What things are going to happen in the parish? Like that. So like I said, Rhythm Christ is JNC, just nice church. So with this small community, which I'm now 30 years coming back, one of the things it must be like, I must not be like stuck with the past. I said it's like driving a car, the rear mirrors are there. I just had to look at the rear mirrors, but my focus must be here. So must be here. And I think it's a blessing to be here because my previous parish, my original parish was Our Lady of Perpetual Succor, Salak South. A tiny little parish in KL, out of KL that time, Salak South. But in many ways, Risen Christ reminds me of that. It is a small community church, community. So when I look at that the church now here, Risen Christ, that community, I think, is something very strong. The sense of community. I think that somebody mentioned the other day the word together. So this together is here, So now what is going to keep me, what motivated for this together church, So I think it's nothing political, but I think this is the family church. Risen Christ is a family church, but over 30 years things have changed. Number one is this thing has come into our lives. This thing has come into our lives that people have changed, technology has changed, some of the newer things, and now after this COVID and post-COVID things, so what can help us move? So I think it's these are the things that's going to keep me engaged with this new parish, building on what the previous parish, immediate predecessor, Father John Claude left. So one of the things that I perhaps struggled with, I know he was a good preacher. I know my voice and my thing, sometimes my preaching cannot match under that, but I think I still got to keep going. And one motivation I have is I heard his masses were all short. So, so I'm still going to try and keep, although I can talk for 45 minutes or more, one shot being teaching in the seminary, but I need to keep it short and keep the family spirit going. That's what I would say. While embracing new technology, new situation in this post-COVID church. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Father Clarence, anything to add?
No, Mac, nothing else to add. Yeah, I think.
But you didn't tell me what motivates you, Father Clarence.
What motivates me? A lot of times, I think the people. I mean, one thing I've realized is the people. When the lockdown hit us, and I was asked, I offered myself to help with the online masses. Saying mass in front of a camera or celebrating mass in front of a camera somehow didn't stimulate me in the same way that when there's the community, the people, and I think as much as the priest empowers the people, I think the people empowers me, the priest. And it's so, as I said in the beginning, it's so nice to be able to have people back, even though restricted, distancing, etc., but just to be able to see people in church, that itself is an energy by itself, Mac. Yeah, that's just kind of a very short answer to a very complex question. I mean, apart from all the other things, I mean, apart from Jesus and my prayer and etc. I mean, I'm just saying in this last 2 years, this is how things has made me realize also how the people is important to the parish community.
Absolutely. Okay. So, Father, Mark's asking, what do priests look forward to in their new communities? I mean, all three of you are now in 3 new parishes and 3 new communities. So, what do you look forward to in your communities? And how can parishioners make this journey for you easier? I'm going to combine both questions.
Yeah. Maybe let me just kick off while the other two are in deep thought mode, I think.
Yeah, they actually look very very intense.
I when I met my leaders, I told them, I said, one thing is, let's work together. I think we all work together. Secondly is, don't compare with the past. Very often we make comparisons, and that itself becomes a stumbling block sometimes. Even for us priests, I cannot compare this parish with my previous parish, and tell the people, don't compare this priest with the previous priest. But let's find a happy, a kind of a situation to work together. And given whatever, like Father Edwin said, some of my predecessors' strength is my weakness. Some of my strengths would have been my predecessors' weakness. So now we are at another phase. Let's move. And I tell them very, very clearly, I said, the past, something that I cannot change. Whatever happened in the past, none of us can change. We can't go change. We can't go back into a time machine, go back and try to undo. But the future is in our hands, and we have the present to shape the future. Let's make use of the present to shape the future and allow God to work through. Yeah, that's what I in a kind of a nutshell, I keep saying to people what we can do to make things better for our parish community.
Father Clarence, after this, I need to cut that part, right, and keep it for myself, because the way you said it, like, wow, so motivational. But it is, so meaningful. Father Edwin, what would you like to say to that question?
What's the question again? I don't know. I got thinking here, thinking there.
What do you look forward to in your new community, and how can your parishness help make the journey easier for you?
Okay, I normally say this. I both ways, like parishioners and me. I said, I meet you where you are, but the end when I leave you, I won't leave you where you are. In the sense
Oh,
that
nice.
we would have journeyed, would have made a journey. So for me, like now, of course, there'll be like what Father Clarence said, like sometimes there's an expectation for instantaneous change, results, and all. But actually, it's a 6-year plan. I'll be here in the parish for 6 years. So that is what it is there. But my term also is not just 6 years. I expect now, in 20 years, how will this parish look at itself? So one of the things that tells me this, that for me, that my parish is, in a certain way, the demography has changed. It is now a more senior community. So I need to cater for that in terms of the physical facilitation and all those things to make sure things are the simple thing, whether the floors are even and etc. But that is not all. The demography has changed in the sense that today we have Bahasa speaking in a community who are there. I was surprised to see the Bahasa a significant number. So looking at that, I said, okay, now it's not going to remain the same. 6 years, maybe 30 years from now, how will risen Christ be? Where will this community be? So I think the one that comes to say is taking from the synod, it says what? Communion, participation, mission. I think these three go together. Communion with God, communion with one another. And I also always say participation. Church is not a church where people serve you. It is self-service. So Father Clarence put it another way, let's do it together. So in that, everybody needs to contribute. Everybody needs to contribute, and yet not to become an inward-looking church. That we are a church that is outward-looking, that is mission. I think that the synod helps this in a very real way. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Thank you.
Nice. Father Michael.
Just in short, I would like to ask the people to embrace one another with love, peace, and trust. These are three things that I always keep with myself. So that we love one another, we trust one another, then we can serve in peace in the parish. Despite we have clash of opinions, we have different thoughts, different ideas, but when we sit together, there should be a love and trust. And it's all process. It's a journey. It's not a destination. We stop there. No. It should be going. And but finally, it's just that we pray for one another. That's the hallmark of all the hope that we have as a priest in the church. Thank you.
Lovely. Very profound, all three of you. Wow, I'm so motivated this morning. Now, we are coming to the end of the show already, but Father Clarence, I have a surprise, okay? I'm going to do a little rapid fire segment where I have only 5 questions, but I need from the three of you are very short answers. So basically, the first answer that comes to your mind when I ask you this question is your answer. So, Father Michael, Father Edwin, you guys good with this? Even if you're not, you've got no choice, you're there.
Thank
I
God
give a
it's short.
long answer so that you don't have to go to the second, third, fourth, and fifth question.
No, lunch
Father, that will be here until tomorrow.
2 words.
lunch is
All right.
waiting.
Lunch is
Lunch is
waiting.
waiting.
Okay, so just 5 questions. We will go this way. Okay, so from Father Michael, Father Edwin, and Father Clarence. All right, so that sequence. Ken? So anti-clockwise. All right, the first question: what is your deepest fear, Father Michael?
Deepest fear, failure.
Wow.
Failure.
Father Edwin?
Expectations.
Father Clarence?
For me, it's expectations. Managing expectations. Yeah.
All right. I would have said cockroaches, but okay. Second question. What is your favorite rainy day activity, Father Michael?
Walking around the church.
Father Edwin?
Rainy day, physically raining or what?
Yeah.
Basically,
Ah,
reading.
nowadays
one time.
everything is phone, lah. Social media and phone.
Okay, so is that your favorite activity? Okay. Father Clarence?
Cup of tea with Spotify on.
Nice. All right, third question. What is your hidden talent? Father
Can I
Michael.
skip this question?
No.
Okay, I thought I can't cook. I managed it last night after the Tamil podcast show. I'm lazy to go out and just went up to just cook something. Wow, okay, boleh makan lah, you know.
So that's your hidden talent. Nice. Father Edwin?
Get people working.
Wow. That's very important talent.
I agree.
Father Clarence?
I think one thing that people don't know is about the ability to play some musical instruments. Yeah, I think I don't tell my parishes because they will make me play the organ and say the mass at the same time. So I don't tell them that.
But it's not circus, it's mass.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
next question. What is your favorite pick-me-up meal? Father Michael?
Bread bun.
Okay. Father Edwin?
Pick me up means?
Pick me up means if you had a long day or you had a bad day, that meal makes you feel good or makes you feel warm or
I'm
like
sorry,
soul
lah.
food.
I'm sorry, lah. It has to be durians, but don't get it all the time. Yeah?
Nice.
Yeah.
Father Clarence?
Meal wise, I don't have a particular meal that lifts me up, but a drink, maybe can I put a drink to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is something that I grew up with, and in many times, it's a nice hot cup of Milo. At the end of the day, sometimes you feel down. That's like comfort food for me. Just at the end of the day.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You can
Sometimes.
tell that our priests are very Malaysian. We got bun, we got durian, and a cup of Milo. Settle. And finally, what is your favorite word? Father Michael?
Word.
Mm.
Trust.
Father Edwin?
Trust.
Kind. Kind.
Kind. Father Clarence?
Favorite word, they're all very spiritual. I think my favorite word is la. Like any other Malaysian, every other word there's a la somewhere that comes so regularly. So I think that seems to be the
Kind
word.
lah.
Kind, yeah, that's the word that comes out of my mouth so regularly. Yeah,
We can't hide our ropes, lah, Father. That's why.
yeah. These guys are
Even the
so
title-
spiritual. Yeah,
the
trust,
title says-
hope,
Hello, she asked
hobbies.
such a strict, serious question. So
Yeah, that's why
give a
I said,
serious
okay,
answer.
wow. Let's answer. I mean, my favorite I always trust lah. Hey, trust me lah, like that. No, trust God lah, like that.
I said kind because I need to grow in that area lah.
So there is a reason for everything, lah, Father. It's not that just they're holy, that's all. Okay, so there you go. That's your 5 questions. Thank you so much for participating in that. So we have come to the end of the show already, and I think we've cleared up quite a lot of questions that's been on our mind about this whole clergy transfer exercise. And we want to thank you, Father Michael, Father Edwin, and Father Clarence, for actually enlightening us on this whole topic this morning and getting to know the person behind the robe as well, because I think I learned so much from all 3 of you, and I realized that y'all are very profound when you speak, very motivational. So guys, you want any good speakers, who to get in touch with, okay?
I should get the one with the Roman collar.
Before we let you go, what are your final words or your advice, or I don't know, anything you want to say to our viewers and your parishness out there?
Please pray for us, priests. We need your prayers. That's all.
All right. Father Edwin? Oh, Father Clarence, okay.
For me, the word comes to my mind very quickly is let's work together. Let's walk together.
Father Edwin?
Now it's my turn, but I said 2 things. One is we are celebrating World Marriage Day. To all the couples who are married, say, we wish you and we pray for you. And the second one is the children are starting their online catechism classes. The children, just keep on going. And to the parents and the catechists who are there, God bless you all. And thank you to the team, Meg and company.
Meg and Company. I wish that was the name. Thank you so much, Father Edwin. Okay, so before we let you go, Father Clarence, would you like to wrap it up with a prayer?
Sure. Let's pray. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, our loving Father, we thank you for this morning to be able to have this candid conversation about life of priests. We want to pray especially for all our priests this morning, in a special way, the priests in the Archdiocese of Kuala Lumpur who have taken office, who have moved homes, or who are readjusting. We ask you to bless them during this time of transitioning. Bless the communities that they serve, also that they may be coming forth to help our priests to feel at home also in this place where we will be for the next few years. Bless all our priests wherever they are in the work that they do. Bless our parishioners, and bless the many activities that are lined up, Sunday School, World Marriage Day, and all the other things that come along. We ask you to bless our people. We pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Father, Son,
Father,
Holy Spirit.
Son.
Amen. So we have come to the end of the show already, right here on Catholics at Home on this beautiful Saturday morning. We're like approximately 6 minutes to noon, so half a day gone by. I'm going to wish you a fantastic rest of the day, and rest is a key word here. So if you've been hustling all week long, take this weekend to relax, slow down a little bit, and rest yourself as well. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us right here on Catholics at Home. We will be back next week with a new topic for you as well. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can always drop us a DM, a PM, depending on which platform you're on, or drop us an email as well. All information is available on our Facebook page and YouTube too. So till we see you again next week, you have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye now. Have a great weekend.